there yep. So this is just a diagram where it will be just showing that yes, in a network there will be servers, there will be computers, there will be CPUs, there will be laptop, desktop, whatever it is. So just a diagram that data is flowing from everywhere. And yes, this is what the main important thing we have discussed. That's why we all are here to understand the concepts of networking and cybersecurity. So this is the important point, so I'm briefing it out again for all of you. So it is very important to understand what to protect, I mean what should be protect in an organizations, and what we should value, and what we should identify. So basically the most important thing is assets, which should get protected, and which we need to keep monitoring. Now in asset, and asset is most important thing in asset. Now what all the things come? So assets include in an organizations, or in a network. So assets include hardware, software, data. So hardware, so basically hardware could be whatever computer components are there, that all will be hardware. Whatever networks and communication channels, how we are transmitting a data in an network, how data is being getting sent from one device to another device, from one network to another network. So what all the communication channels we are using, those all will come into the hardware. Then all our mobile devices, that will also come under hardware. Now what is software? So software, what all the operating systems we are using, we are using Mac operating system, or we are using Windows operating system, or what all the off shell programs and applications we are using in a device. And there are some are inbuilt applications, and some are customized programs and applications. So those all will be coming under the software. Then data, as I said yesterday as I said in yesterday class, data is the most precious thing nowadays, because we all are totally dependent on a digital world nowadays, for each and every for each and everything in our life, for day to day activities. So data is the most valuable things, and data is the actual gold in nowadays. So what will be in like consider under data, whatever files are there, whatever databases are there. So databases and files, it can consider anything of your uh, very important informations, using your own login credentials, your ID, your passwords, your OTPs, your other account details, your date of birth, everything. So that will be coming under data. So this is what we should protect, and this is what it should get protected as a cyber security engineer, or in an organization, how they monitor data. So basically they safeguard the assets, which include hardware, software, and data. So what all comes under this, that I have mentioned it here. Any doubt or any concern, anything? uh, are you guys feeling it difficult, or it's going good for you?
It's good, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for confirming. Anybody else, if you are feeling like, oh ma'am, like it is a bit difficult, if you can like say in some easy way, or use some different other easy sentences, I'm happy to do that, and do not hesitate to open up.
You can use the chat box also, no problem.
Yeah, so currently I'm not checking that, but yeah, sir can see that, and
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
will be.
I'll post.
Yeah, and later on also, after the completion of this class, we can discuss all the Q&As. If you have any questions, you can just keep posting in the channel itself. Okay, so I'm considering silence as there are no difficulties or doubts. So moving to the next. So basically, to cut short it, it is the same thing which I have discussed yesterday. I'm just repeating for today's students. So data is getting exchanged into a network. So it's mostly all about data and network nowadays. So let's deep dive into that, and let's discuss, more concepts into this. So, data transfer, there are basically two ways of data transfer. One is wired, we all know that. One is wired and one is wireless. So, through some cables and other way. And nowadays, it's very rare that, most of the people are using the wired way of data transfer. Most of the organizations, we as a human, every users, most of us as a, the advanced level of human beings, we are using the advanced level of data transfer medium, which is wireless medium. So there are two ways. And now, the most important part, when we talk about data, so when we talk about data, the most important thing is IP packets. So before IP packets, we should be knowing, what is IP. So anyhow, in going further classes, we'll be discussing about more detail in IP, because there are a lot of things to learn about the IP. But just to give you a brief, IP stands for Internet Protocol, which is basically a set of rules that guide how a data is, getting routed and like getting transferred across a network. So it is like just giving a guidance. Just for an example, how you can take it up is, just you are sending some package to somebody. So for an example, just take an example. In that package, you will be having the information that, first of all, what way of transmission it should use, I mean what way of transport it should use, whether it should go by, how you are delivering that, whether it is going by a speed post, then it is going through, through some flight or other some transport medium, through some truck or by bus, or from two wheelers or something like that. So IP is basically Internet Protocol. And it stands for Internet Protocol, which is a set of rules that basically guide how data can be sent, and how data can be sent and delivered across a network. It could be in a network, it could be more than a network. And coming to the like, if we'll discuss more about the IP address, so how it works basically. So IP address, if you talk about the IP address, it is a series of number separated by dots. So basically, for your understanding, in a very layman example, if we talk about, IP address is a unique identity, which has been given for all the endpoints. When I talk about the endpoints, it's all the devices, it like the laptop, desktop, and whatever it is. So it is just like, we as a student in college, we all there could be possibility that some of these students might be having the same name, but they all will be having different roll numbers. So that is how the IP works. So IP address is a unique identity for, the endpoint devices in a network to identify. So when I say endpoint devices, it could be laptop or desktop, anything. So what that is what IP is. And there are two types of IP, so that is static and dynamic. Don't worry about that, we'll be discussing that. There are other parts of IP, ranges and everything. We'll be discussing that. Here I just told you about IP because to understand IP packet, first of all, you should be knowing what is IP. So it is just Internet Protocol, which is a set of rules just to guide how a data packets, in how, like in which way it will get delivered, it will get transferred in and outside a network. So for an example, IP packet in other way, if you will say, so it is just a if for IP packet, if we talk about, so it is a small chunk of data. So how data is getting segregated. So for an example, if we have requested some data from a website, we are requesting something on, just an example, I am typing something on Google search engine. I am saying that I need some data about www.google.com. Now, how it will be getting done in the backend. So once I will get like the server will receive the request. After that, how it will be getting done, so server will be dividing that data into some particular chunks of data. When I say chunks, it is small parts of data. So in some parts, let me show you. So how it will be, IP packet will be IP packet will be containing IP header and some segments. So when we talk about here TCP segments, don't worry about that. We'll be talking much about that in the later parts. So it is just like a box where you have kept, gift for somebody, and there you have mentioned what is the person name and what is the address. So it is just like that in a very easy example which I'm trying to explain you. So your IP packet will be containing the IP header and TCP segments. So IP header will be, I will show you here. So IP header will be again containing a sub packet. So for an example here, IP packet is a gift box. Okay, it has some of the data for a person. So it has some message for a person. It will be containing two more packets in that. One will be IP header and one will be TCP segment. Now moving to the next. So sorry. So now the first sub packet, the small packet under inside this big packet, it will be containing three small envelopes in that. So you know what all these envelopes will be containing. So it will be containing controls and flags. So flags and control is just like, okay, when we have to send and when we have to wait for the acknowledgement, like that. So flags and other concepts we'll be discussing further. And then it will be containing the source IP address and the destination IP address. So when we talk about the source IP address and destination IP address, so it is very important for a in a network on a server, when a lot of request is getting sent from client to server. So it is very important from server side to understand, what have requested what. So for an example, if me, Sai, and Ram sir and all of you, we all are sending a lot of requests on a server at a single time. So now, because server should not, get overloaded, it should not get confused that, okay, who is requesting for what, which data I should send for to whom. In that case, it is very important for to get a clear message from the sender side. So that's how this has been made. So it will be containing, the source IP address. So who have requested that, the source IP address means from which endpoint devices, from which laptop or desktop the request have been generated. And the destination IP address, destination IP address means what this person is basically asking for. If it is just sending the data from one computer to another computer or from one network to another network, so where he that person, where this source is trying to send the data, so the requester will be the source who is requesting, and the person who is receiving the request or the data, that will be the destination. So here it is very important that from where the packet came and from where the packet have to reach, it's just like that. So that information must be there. That's why the IP packets are there, and that's why it is very important. Because if IP packets will not be there, then delivering a data from one network to another network, it will be very difficult. There will be lot of confusions. For an example, I have requested some file from somebody, and I will receive some wrong files, and that person will send that file to somebody else. So there will be a lot of confusion. So just to avoid that confusion, this is how it works. So the IP packet contains basically two things. One is IP header and one is TCP segment. So IP header will be containing, some flags which will be giving some additional details, then source IP address, then destination IP address. Guys, any confusion? I mean, don't get confused with TCP segment and control flag. It is just like you are giving, sending a gift box to somebody. Now, in that box, obviously, you will be mentioning the detail that which person have sent, right? If you are sending the gift, you will be making your name there. You will be writing your name, your address, and then obviously you have to write the person's address and person's detail also who have to receive that. Otherwise, in worst case scenario, if that person have not received, somebody else have received that package, at least once he will see the destination details where it has to reach, that person will definitely understand, okay, this package has got delivered to a wrong person. So then definitely they will resend it back so that it can be sent to the right person. So that is just like that. Any confusion, guys? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is it Sai?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for responding, Sai. Any one of you, if you're it's feeling for you like tough or something, please let me know, and please feel free to speak up. You can speak up as Sir said in the chat box as well, so we can go accordingly. So it's important for you to understand the concept, because if you will be lacking on the basic concepts, then later on when we'll be discussing, the deep concept, then it will be a bit difficult for you to again brush up everything. Okay. So this is how a IP packet works. And in later part, we'll be seeing the practical things of, IP packet flows, and how the IP packet locks and other stuffs. We'll be checking that. So you just have to remember, you just have to understand how a data work in a network. So whenever, a data is transmitting from one network to another network, or inside a network, it is the data is getting like a breakup into a smaller chunks of data, that is containing the data packets which contain this IP packets detail. And this IP packet will be containing two important sub packets, which will be IP header and TCP segments. And this IP header will be containing all the details, including source IP address, destination IP address, and some other details what is important for a data packet to get delivered to a right destination. Okay. So moving to the next, as we were discussing about, the network architecture, where we have saw firewall, routers, switches, and other things, IDS, IPS. So let's talk about some of the softwares or hardwares here. So basically, if we talks about firewall, so firewall is basically, you can say that, or a software or a hardware that is basically a set of rules, which basically filter out and which make sure and define that what data packets will be allowed or to enter or to leave in a network. So it just like, it will work as a security door in a network. So it will be just like, for an example, if your house is there, so firewall will work as your main door. So it will make sure, it will if you have kept some CCTV camera or something like that, so it will be just like that you are, with the help of that CCTV camera at your main gate, you are monitoring each and everything, that what is coming inside, what is going outside, so it will stop it then and there. So basically, how a firewall works, firewall will be having some set of rules defined in it, and manually a person will be, nowadays even, there are automation techniques getting used, so to pull out the rule at the firewall. But most of the time, the manual rules will be pulled out at the firewall. So it is just like, for an example, if you are trying to communicate a network or a website which is hosted in China, so you are trying to reach out that China IP. Now your traffic will be passing through the firewall, and your firewall will be checking whether whatever IP you have tried searching on the Google search engine, that IP, is actually a good IP to connect with, or it's actually a bad IP. Now, how the firewall will be deciding that? Obviously, firewall is not a god or something. Firewall is a hardware or software device which have set of rules, which is obviously defined by the human beings. So there could be a lot of rules on that firewall. So for an example, there will be some IP mentioned at the firewall, and there will be, it will be matching with that IP. So it will be checking, okay, whether this IP have been mentioned in our rule as a good IP or a bad IP. So it will be checking with that. I'm just giving an example. It will be checking into the set of rules, into the list, whether it is a good IP or a bad IP. It will check if it's, a good IP, then it will allow the traffic. It will check if it's a bad IP, it will stop it then and there. And then there will be lot of tools which will be triggering some alerts or some notifications for some of the security engineers, that some of your user have tried reaching out this bad, or in other words, if you technical term, if you will talk about a malicious IP or domain from your network. So please go ahead and check that. So basically, it's filter out the traffic and lower the risk of any harmful packets or any harmful activities or network activities happening inside that network, outside that network, and impacting the security. So firewall is very much important, and firewall concepts, there will be lot of things in firewall as well. So it is very much important that we should understand properly how a firewall works, because most of the attackers, the attackers favorite thing is to target the firewalls every time, because it is very important for them to breach out or to break down the firewall securities, to break down the antivirus securities, to enter inside a network and to then to attack on the devices. So any doubt with the firewall? I mean, are you able to understand what a firewall is, how it works, and why we need that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good to hear that. So here, that's why I have kept this very simple example. So here you could see that there are, secure private local area network, that is LAN. So for an example, there are in a very easy way. For an example, you are seeing there are a lot of endpoint devices. There are mobile device, laptop, desktop, so many things. It is connected through some modem, and then it is reaching to this firewall. Now, firewall is working as a you could, for an a good example, you can say that it's working as a security guard at the door. So here this security guard is working 24/7 without even stopping, and it's continuously monitoring whatever traffic is coming from outside, the external traffic. It could be from any public network, it could be through internet, it could be from anywhere. So it will keep monitoring, and it will check whether any traffic is good to allow, or if it's bad. So if it will be bad, it will be stopping it. And when I say dustbin, so it there are some kind of other processes where it will be dropping those, and it will be making it just stay there, which is a quarantine stage. Don't get confused with the word. So that other security people can monitor it, and later on they can check that what happens exactly and why firewall have not allowed it to come inside. So this is how a firewall works. So if you're not able to understand how a firewall works, always remember in your mind, just always remember a security guard, how security guard work to safeguard a home or a building or a office, anything. So that's how a firewall work. Are we good to go, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for confirming. Others, please speak up. If you have any doubts or anything, do not hesitate to speak up.
Yeah, we want to keep it as a more engaging repeatedly, but
Exactly.
as it is the first new classes, slowly we'll come to know. But then please try to understand, and if it is doubts, we can raise the questions at their end itself.
Yes. And that's why I'm trying to give you some real life examples. So for remembering firewall, you can remember security guard always, so that you can correlate in your mind, and then you can come up, okay, like firewall, how a security guard work. And then for IP packets, as I said, to deliver any gift to any one of your loved ones, if you send it out, or to send parcel to your family members or your friends. So it is just like that packet, a gift packet or a parcel packet. So what all the information, the useful information it will be containing. So the source details, the destination details, and some other additional information which is required for delivering the packet. So yeah, I'm just repeating for all of you so that you should not get confused with anything, and you should be able to remember the concepts. So let me move to the next. Yes. So when we talk about the firewall, so there are types of firewall. And one among those is basically packet filtering firewall. So when we talk about the, and it is very important for all of you to to know this concepts, what is firewall and what type of firewalls are there. So there are two to three types of firewall. One among them is packet filtering firewall. So these traffic, this firewall basically what it does, it is filter it's filter traffic based on some of the requirements, which is some set of rules and some set of protocols and port numbers. I will tell you later what is this SDSA and DA. You don't have to get confused with that right now. And it will be checking with, if for an example, if the rule matched whatever rule is written at the firewall level. As I said you, for an example, if the rule is written, if any China IP is trying to connect, then it will be checking that, and it will say no, it should not pass to the firewall, it should get blocked and it should not enter in a network. So it will be checking with a rule. If rule match, then it will forward it inside. If rule will not match, then it will not allow that traffic, and it will just discard it, or in a easy word you can say it will reject that. So there are some default action in that, that is basically based on the rule. And it basically the most important thing is, packet filtering firewall will never ever check what inside that particular data. So basically, if a data packet is passing from the firewall, for an example, if any of the packet IP packet will be passing, data packet will be passing, it will not check what inside information is there. So it will not be checking what source IP, destination IP, IP header and other details will be there. It will just be checking, okay, it is a data packet, it will just check some basic rule. If the rule is matching, it will pass. It will not check the actual data inside it. It will just pass that. So that is packet filtering firewall. Now there is the next one, that is stateful firewall. So the firewall basically it keep tracks of whether or not that packet is like, basically it will keep checking whether, first of all it will be checking whether what is the packet, and after that it will be keep checking whether the network session have been established properly or not. So basically, in comparison to packet filtering firewall, it have one additional feature. It will be checking for network sessions as well, that how long it is taking to create a session to pass on the packet, and within how many session a data packet should pass. So it will be checking the packet. Additionally, it will be checking the network session. So that's why it is more advanced in comparison to packet filtering firewall. Now there is most important and most used firewall, that is proxy firewall. So proxy firewall basically protects network resources or network data by filtering payload. So this is one of the important firewall, because it filter out the payload as well. When I say payload, so it will be anyhow checking the packet, and inside packet whatever data is there, it will be filtering that as well. So it will be checking those information as well, whether what is the inside data in a IP packet or a data packet. It will be checking each and everything. And that's why it is known as gateway firewall, because there is one more reason. If some of you might remember the concept of OSI model, we'll be discussing that. So this is getting performed at the application layer itself. That's why it is known as application firewall or gateway firewall. And guys, don't get confused within proxy and proxy firewall. Proxy is totally different and proxy firewall is totally different. So after firewall and other topics, we'll be discussing proxy and other things as well. So for proxy firewall, this is more secure, and this is processing overhead. And processing overhead in the sense, it will be making sure that each and every data is getting data packets are getting transferred and checked at the right session of time, and also their payload should get checked. And again, when I say payload, It means the inside data packet, whatever actual data are there, it will check those actual data as well, which is not getting performed in stateful and packet filtering firewall. So that's why proxy firewall is, more advanced. And nowadays, most of the organization is using this firewall, but earlier time most of the organizations were using some these kind of firewall because of their budgets and other stuff. So yes, proxy firewall is more secure, more advanced, and more demanding firewall. Is it easy for you to understand? So there are basically three kinds of firewall, that is packet filtering, stateful, and proxy firewall. So packet filtering will be only filtering the packets, will be checking the packets, and it will not be checking anything much. And the stateful will be checking basically the packets, and also the network session, that how it is, how the data is getting set. So if the sessions and whatever sessions are getting created, is it in a correct order or not. So it is just like here, if you will see the example, it is just like, okay, after 4 5 6, which session is getting initiated, is it like 4 5, after 4 5 6, 4 5 7, or 4 5 9, something like that. So if you will see here, the session is correct, which is after 4 5 6 there is 4 5 7. But if you will go down, here the session is in wrong way. So after 6 6 7 there is 4 5 8. So this is a wrong session. So it will be checking the network sessions as well. If the sessions is getting created in the right order or in a wrong order, so it will be checking those. So it have two features. So and this proxy firewall, it will be having all the features. So most of the time it will be checking, the sessions, the IP packets, the actual data inside the IP packet. So that's why these are more secure, and this is getting performed as at application level. That's why it is known as application firewall or the gateway firewall. Uh, yes. So after discussing the firewall, we have the next thing, which were there in our the contents to cover up. So the next one is IPS and IDS. So IPS and IDS, as I have discussed you earlier, IPS and IDS are not necessarily you have to, it should be kept as two separate physical devices. They can be combined, as I said you, it totally depends on organizations and their decision, their requirement. So they can be combined into one device, and they can be kept as one, and they can also be combined with other devices like firewall, router, or proxy. And they can be used separately. Is it okay for all of you? Are you able to understand? Are we on same page?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay, thank you for confirming. Sir, is there any questions in the chat box? Because I don't want to get them bored. Even if they need 1 2 minute quick session or something, I can do that. I'm
Yeah.
not checking the questions actually.
Not in the chat.
Okay.
Actually, we need to do some icebreakers for the team to engage in the coming sessions.
Yeah, that will be doing it. We'll be making sure that there is
Still,
something for all of them, so
yeah,
that
we will do
they
that.
should
We
not
will
get
do that
bored. Yeah.
because
Uh,
all are from computer science and all mostly, so
yeah.
they know the basics. So I think they kept quiet night. So in the coming topics, they will engage. Let's hope that.
Yeah. Guys, you have to get engaged, because once we'll be planning other things for all of you in other sessions. I can understand this is your first class, second class, but yeah, keep be interactive. It will be good for both of us, all of us. So yeah, even if you have any doubt or anything, if it's coming to your mind, you can ask in the chat box as well. So just to make sure that we are on the same page and we are understanding the things, or if you know already the concepts, it's good that we are brushing up the things. So yeah, feel free to ask anything at any time. Yes. So now coming to the IDS and IPS. So IDS and IPS, basically IDS stands for intrusion deduction system, and it basically, from its name itself, sometime if we are not understanding any concepts, what we can do is what I try to do. So what I do is I try to break it up. So intrusion deduction system, it basically, what it does, it whatever happening bad or something, something anonymous. When I say anonymous, means something very rare things happening in a network. So basically what it does, it's only deduct the things whatever happening in a network. It only, deduct it, basically identify it, but after that it does not take any action. So that's why IDS, so the main work of IDS is only to deduct and identify the bad things happening in a network, but it will not take any action on that. So that's why it is written here. It only sends logs or alerts on malicious traffic. If malicious in the sense the bad traffic which attackers are trying to do, to central management system. It could be anything. It could be any kind of tool which is used for monitoring of alerts and other stuffs, and it does not take any action. So basically, for an example here, if it's a LAN which have whatever internal networks are there, then there are router, then there are firewall, and here IPS and IDS and internet is here. So once internet traffic is going through IDS, what IDS will be doing, it will be checking. Okay, so just for an example, consider this internet is a person. He is sending a lot of data, or a lot of requested data from here to here. So what IDS will be doing, IDS will be checking out each and every data packets. It will be checking each and every envelope which have some information, for an example. And what it will do, it will just identify, it will just, deduct, okay, this packet is not good, okay, this packet is good, this packet is not good. It will be checking like that. And whatever information it got, it will not take any action. For an example, it got some, bad packets, it got some bad information, or envelope which have malicious data or information from any of the attacker. It feels like it's not safe for our network, but still it will not take any action. It will pass all those details to IPS, and then it is done. So is its work is done. This ideas will say like, okay, my work was only to deduct. I have already done the deduction identification. After this, he just like a lazy person, so he doesn't want to do anything. His work is only to identify it, to deduct it, and later on all the works he will keep it to IUDS, and he will be on the again in the same work position. So in into the deduction and identification phase, and later on parts will be getting done by IPS itself. So that's why it is mentioned here. It can only send the alerts, but it leaves the other action parts to the IPS. So basically inspection and investigation, how it works, sorry, so how it works is, for an example, I wanted to show you this diagram. So just an example, lot of data is parsing here. Is it is just like, for an example, if you go to airport or if you go to some mall or something like that. So there is a scanning booth there, so they will be using that big machines, right, to scan your whatever bags and other stuffs you have, to scan a human being as well. So everything will be getting scanned from this scanner, for an example. It will keep scanning one by one. So if it finds something is, something is not good, it's not good, it will generate an alarm and it will pass that data to IPS. And again it will find that some data is, good. So for that, it will be having other medium, it will be transferring data again. But it will keep sending all the data to, to IPS. It will not take any actions by his own. So that's how the IDS work. And now coming to the IPS. IPS, so it is one of the most important thing in a network. And that's why I said you that some of the organization they just use IPS, they do not use IDS, because you will get to know the reason. Because IPS works more better way in comparison to IDS. So here this IPS stands for intrusion prevention system. So from the name itself, it is clear that it is for preventing. So the work IPS is doing, it is, anyhow detection is getting done from IDS as well. But after that, IPS will also do the same thing. And after that, it will make sure that even it is doing the prevention step. So it basically, it inspects the traffic following through the network and blocks or remediate flows within a malicious traffic. So it will keep monitoring the traffic whatever is passing through in a network from IPS. It will be keep checking all of those. And if it feels like there is something malicious, there is something bad which should not pass through, so either immediately it will block it or it will remediate it. When I say remediate, you can see from this diagram itself. So what it will do, okay, IDS works is done. This is the same way how IDS was working in the last diagram. Now it comes to now IPS comes into the picture after IDS. So how it will does is, as I said, remediate. So what it will do, for an example, in a separate box, if it feels like okay this is something bad and it should not be there into the network, it will keep it into some separate box. So it will drop it there. That's how the remediation works. It will keep it there, and later on that will get monitored and analyzed that what was bad there. So it is either the security person or some other security team member, they will be monitoring that out. That will be into the later part. So this is how IPS work. So basically, inspection and investigations. Inspection can include signature based inspection, and statistical anomaly based inspection. When I say this, it means that, just a second. So when I say this, what it does, it is in doing the investigation, and analyzing the suspicious packets and activities as well. So how it works is, as I said, you firewall works based on some set of rules, and IPS works based on some signatures. So there are some defined signatures in IDS and IPS. It will be working based on those signatures. Don't worry much that how the signatures are getting written into the IDS and IPS and other things. So that you will be able to understand later. So IPS is doing the work of IDS and IPS both together. So if an organization is not using IDS, that will not harm anything, because IPS itself is doing that work of IDS and IPS both. So that's why most of the organization nowadays they prefer IPS, only using IPS, because that will save their cost as well, instead of using IDS and IPS both. But some of the organization, just to provide a additional security, they will be using IDS and IPS both together at some different layers. So what they will be doing is they will be making sure that either in some bad case scenarios, if something get missed from IDS while deducting, so at least it will get deducted over IPS. So so that they can how they are, in that way they are providing two layers of security using IDS and IPS both. So IDS and IPS, they both work based on the signature. So they work based on signature based inspections, and IPS totally deducts and prevents, while IDS it only deducts the logs and network traffics. Are we good till here? Are you guys able to like understand the things? Guys, I hope you are not sleeping by 1 hour of session. Okay. So this is all about, this is just to diagram, just to, just to show you how it take action. So once unwelcome packets are identified, unwelcome in the sense the bad packets or the malicious packets. So once the malicious packets are identified, IPS would either put them in a quarantine or simply drop them. So what it does, it quarantine in the sense, that's how I was telling you, right? So quarantine in the sense, they will start keeping those bad packets into some separate place, or either they will just throw it out. So it depends how the organization works and how they are writing the rules for IPS. So most of the time they will be putting into, if they are monitoring and they are analyzing, there is something, bad and there is something malicious, so they will be putting them into a separate box which is called quarantine, and or simply they will just throwing it out. That's what they will be doing that. And for IPS logs and reports, like many security devices, IPS can log attacks and send reports. So basically what it does is, most of the security monitoring tool, through which we monitor alerts, whatever is happening in an organization. So logs, for logs and report purpose, IPS helps a lot because it sends all those logs and reports to those particular tools for reporting. Guys, are we good? Are you all awake?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for confirming. Others, I hope you're not sleeping. It's already evening, so you might be feeling like, oh, it's our tea time, it's our break time, and ma'am is spoiling, like she have already taken our more than 1 hour.
Already tried, already tired at college, still there.
Yeah. So they might be cursing me that we are already frustrated with our college timings. Now this class is timing. How much we should study?
No, no problem, Ma. We are very flexible with the timings. Will let me check, and you can send me message one by one, so that what the feasible study time and all, so that we will alter the timings. No problem. It is our class only. No problem. We'll don't treat it as a separate academy or institute. It is our friend circle only.
Exactly.
And
So
come
you
back.
don't have to fear, and you guys just have to think that you are getting trained personally one by one, and
Yeah.
you are authorized. You can say anything at any time with us. You can share anything, whatever you are feeling like. So yes. So now I want to give some timing to them, so if they
Yeah.
have any, because again today it's already more than 1 hour. I do not want
Yeah.
them to get bored, so
True.
that
True.
they should not forget the concepts whatever they have heard today.
Yeah, actually, they will give the food for thought for tomorrow.
Yeah,
We'll ask questions on the today's topics.
yeah, sure. We'll do that, sir. Let's see who is going to answer that.
Yeah, yeah.
So meanwhile, any one of you have anything? Now you are okay to say anything. We are already done with the content discussion. I do not want you to get bored with a more
Mhm.
topic at today itself.
Ma'am, could you please share me the group PPT in the group, ma'am?
I was knowing this, sir. Sure,
Actually,
sure.
yeah, while you are discussing IP and ID, me and my friend was just little bit, we have just some confusion, ma'am.
Oh, okay, okay,
Then,
okay.
Mega,
Actually,
you can ask that at right time, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. You can ask the confusion at the same. Might be the same confusion others will be having, but they are hesitating to speak up,
no,
Meghna.
ma'am, no. No, ma'am, actually, what you said was right. We are tired. That too, we not even fresh up that. Actually, we are attending the
Oh,
class.
I'm
So
so
that,
sorry for that. So
yeah, no,
sorry for
no,
that.
ma'am,
You
no,
guys
ma'am.
might be cursing too.
No, no, ma'am. Actually, I said that we'll once again we'll get into that video again so that if we have, so that we'll clarify. I said to her, ma'am.
No
Sure,
worries.
sure, no worries. We'll be
Yeah,
sharing the PPT, and plus we'll be sharing, sir, we will be able to share recording session as well, right?
Yeah, we are sharing. We are sharing.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. So yeah, later on, if
uh,
still if you have confusion, you can ask us.
yeah, sure, ma'am, definitely.
No worries, Meghna.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Actually,
No
your
problem.
teaching very great. Actually, we are lucky to have you.
Oh,
It means
thank you so much.
at present there were no such classes, ma'am. Really.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And this will be only good if we all
Actually, we
will be
need to thank you, ma'am, but you are telling us thank you.
The feedback
Thank you so much, ma'am.
reciprocates because we want to build the community, so we need to feel your feedback at the right time also.
Yeah, yes, sir. Actually, I wanted to even appreciate Jaya. Of course,
Yeah.
the credit goes to you, needless
Yes.
to say. So Jaya is doing very good job. Actually, she prepared, and it shows her experience, the flow,
Exactly. Exactly.
the way she's, going with the flow with the PPT and explaining.
Exactly.
Kudos to Jaya, madam. And also one small suggestion in case if it is possible,
Yeah.
Jaya,
Please.
because most of the our participants are from the freshers or students only. If you can give some market leading tools like what is IPS tools or which usually organizations,
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
Good,
not
good suggestion, sir. Yeah, good suggestion.
it's not
Because they might be not knowing, yeah, the firewall names, the IDS, IPS names. So yeah, I can do that.
because if they can note that no whenever they attend any interview, I mean, if anybody put that question, do you know any tools which are
Yes.
available,
Yes. Correct.
we can
Yeah,
just
exactly, exactly.
That where
Yes.
our students should differentiate with others. Actually.
yes sir, yes sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Actually, I was having this in my mind that I will be sharing some of the tools name later part. But yeah, it's good if I am syncing with the content itself. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Ram sir. I will do
That
that.
we do, Jayana.
Okay sir, thank you.
Yeah. Any other suggestion, any feedback, any concern, guys? If you will speak up, then only will be able to make it to a next level, and it will be helpful for all of you. At least I want all of you to get prepared for interview level. So take up all the classes in that way that if next time if you are going to give any interviews, if any questions are coming up related to IDS, IPS, firewalls, or anything, at least you should be able to answer some of their questions. So yeah, if you still have any concerns, any suggestions, or anything, you please feel free to tell us here.
You can openly discuss what your challenges also, so that we'll alter.
Exactly.
Yeah, Supreet, already you are somewhere aware of that what the modules you are studying, so that we'll advance these topics also. No problem. We can learn that.
Yes, sir.
So Supreet, are you okay with this concepts already? Are you already aware of all these things, or some things are just helping you to revise up and brush up your knowledge?
Yeah, I was aware of some basic concepts, but this class helped me to brush up them, and I got to learn new things about those topics.
Okay, good. Yeah, good to hear that.
Thank you.
Um, Guys, anything else? Any concern, any challenges, any difficulties if you're facing and you want to, get it modified? As Ram sir have suggested already a very good thing. So you can come up with anything which you're feeling like.
Pallavi, do you have any separate module than these module, or otherwise want to add up something?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I think most of them are tired, so they are just
Yes.
waiting. Okay, we have to get done with this class. We have to
No
go.
problem. No problem. You
I think then,
yeah,
eh,
please.
yeah, yeah, sir, go ahead.
All you can share me the whatever your suggested timings, best timing, to my WhatsApp or in our community, so that we'll think on that lines. Even the weekend, even Ramsar has more prior for the weekend also, so that it not disturb the other activities, core activities. That also we'll think over.
Yeah.
Because already JMN suggested even 7 a.m. is good for me, sir. No problem, I can go ahead. But the thing is, you have to ready for and go to the colleges. That's why I'm checking if you are comfortable in the morning sessions or evening, like that. I'm seeing.
Yeah. Sure. So then I think for today, let them rest a bit. Already they have taken a session of 1 hour, and I'm making sure that they should not, get confused with the overburdened knowledge. So
Um,
yeah, we can give today's time back to them. And all of you, please, if you have any suggestions, concern, and as Sir said, we are still just trying to understand what is the most feasible time from most of you, so that we'll go accordingly with that. So and will be fixed on one timing then, so you can help us with that. And anyhow, we'll be sharing this recording session and the ppt deck with you, so yeah.
I'm sharing
And
regarding it.
yeah, and one more suggestion I have for on which me and Prashad sir will be working on. So this is just what I have observed. Some of you might be needing some help with your communication skill as well while giving the interviews.
Correct.
So yeah, while taking your mock interviews, will be helping you out how you have to deliver while speaking in the interview. That matters a lot.
Already Meghana and Anjana, I spoken with them for the couple of times. I stressed upon the only presentation. Okay, now
Yeah,
subject the presentation is the priority. So just work on that.
exactly. Yeah, it's all about how you are making the your interviewer how you are taking them in a confidence that you are capable enough to deliver best into their organization. You're going to to learn the things whatever they are going to train you into the organization, and you're going to be at a good level with your communication and with your presentation skill along with the technical skill. So that is a additional points, so yeah. Okay, so if they doesn't have anything for
Yeah,
now, then yep.
sure. Let's meet tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Thank you all of you. Have a good day ahead, and please take some rest. Do not curse me that ma'am is teaching us so many things. So yeah, please take some rest. We'll meet again. And please revise the topics whenever you get time.
Thank
Thank
you, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you everyone.